Sarah sat at her kitchen table, staring at the email that had just arrived in her inbox. The subject line read, "Urgent, need coverage Monday night." Her heart sank as she recognized the sender, Mandy, her coworker who was already walking a tightrope at their hospice nursing job. At 25, Sarah had carved out what many considered the perfect nursing position. No brutal 12-hour hospital shifts, flexible scheduling, and the meaningful work of caring for patients in their final days. But with the freedom came responsibility. Mandatory overnight on-call shifts that rotated among the small team every 2 weeks. The 3 strikes rule hung over everyone like a dark cloud. 3 call-outs in a year meant termination, no exceptions. Sarah had watched her boss fire several colleagues over the years, each dismissal leaving the remaining staff shaken and the workload heavier. Mandy had started 4 months ago, a single mother of 4 whose military husband deployed frequently. Her desperation had been palpable from day one, juggling childcare, work demands, and the constant uncertainty of military life. She'd already used 2 strikes, and everyone knew it. The email painted a heartbreaking picture. Mandy's child had fallen ill, spreading the sickness to their regular babysitter. With no backup care and her husband deployed overseas, Mandy faced an impossible choice: abandon her sick child or lose her job. Sarah's fingers hovered over her keyboard. She could easily cover the shift. She had no children, no spouse, and honestly, Monday nights were usually spent alone with Netflix anyway. But Valentine's Day was approaching, and she'd finally planned something special with someone who might actually matter. She typed her response carefully. "I'll cover Monday if you work Valentine's Day for me." The reply came within minutes. Mandy's husband was returning Thursday after months of deployment. Their marriage was hanging by a thread, divorce papers practically drafted. Valentine's Day wasn't just a date. It was potentially their last chance to save a decade-long relationship and keep their family intact. "Please," Mandy's follow-up email read, "could you take a different day instead? This night means everything to us." Sarah felt the familiar sting of being the single colleague, the one expected to sacrifice because she didn't have a family. 3 years of being the reliable one, the one who never called out, never complained, never asked for anything. Her own Valentine's Day plans, her first real date in months, suddenly felt selfish against Mandy's crumbling marriage. But why should she always be the one to give up her happiness? Why did having children make Mandy's needs more important than her own? The resentment that had been building for years bubbled to the surface. "No chance," Sarah typed back, her anger making the words feel justified. What followed was a desperate barrage of messages. Mandy pleaded, guilted, and finally begged. She painted pictures of her children's faces when they'd learn Mommy lost her job, of the financial devastation that would follow, of a marriage that might not survive another disappointment. "Fuck it, you're on your own," Sarah finally responded, her patience exhausted. By Friday, Mandy was gone, fired. 4 children left, wondering why Mommy couldn't work anymore. A marriage that might not survive the additional stress. A woman who'd already sacrificed so much for her country through her husband's service, now paying an even steeper price. Sarah got her Valentine's Day date. But as she sat across from her dinner companion, she couldn't shake the image of Mandy's empty desk, the whispered conversations among colleagues, the way her boss's eyes lingered on her with disappointment. The other nurses, all mothers themselves, couldn't hide their judgment. In their eyes, Sarah had chosen a single night of romance over a colleague's entire livelihood. They saw callousness where Sarah saw self-preservation, selfishness where she saw fairness. What do you think? Was Sarah right to prioritize her own needs after years of sacrifice? Or should she have shown compassion to a desperate colleague? When does standing up for yourself cross the line into cruelty? Share your thoughts below.